Hello, everybody. It's your old pal Ron Howard from xTreme Sequences, bringing you some thoughts. My thoughts on models, my thoughts on these new fancy certified models. And I want to give some input on this. I have some concerns. I've talked to a lot of people, I've done a lot of testing and analysis, and I just really feel the need to make this video to clear up any misconceptions. I'm always delighted when people are trying to help people in this hobby, but sometimes it could be misguided. And maybe I'm wrong here, but I think I may be right. Over here on the left, this is a Chinese writing that spells in Chinese, what the hell? Maybe not. Okay, that's a joke. That's just a joke. But I want to talk about these. I want to talk about some models, and I want to clearly illustrate why I don't have models like the Ice Queen and the Mesmerizer. What I call it the Mesmerizer, because I just think it's a hot mess, and I'm going to be able to show you that. I think these are the PPD wreaths, and then over here on the right are the certified models. 3 of these are the certified Gilbert Engineering models that PPD is using for their sequences. And I totally get the concept of what they're trying to do. They've probably been just slammed and hammered from their customers that buy their sequences going, okay, this is great and all, but how the heck am I going to get this to look good on my Gilbert Engineering props? They got all these submodel groups, and you've got different models. You don't really have any of these GE props in your layout. What am I supposed to do? Well, I can imagine that has to be a lot of pressure. I don't get that on my side, really. I have very few people that will say, hey, how do I make this look good on the Boscoyo props? Because I'm a firm mind that it's a matter of mapping. xLights is already chewing most of your food for you, and us sequence providers are putting in the hard work of sequencing, and we do a ton of tutorials to help you learn how to map. Meanwhile, xLights is making mapping ridiculously simple. It's making groups ridiculously simple. There's so much work that's been put into xLights to take a lot of this work out of your hands. The least you could do is put in a tiny bit of effort mapping. It's really just drag and drop, mix, match, see what looks good, see what doesn't. I mean, it's all there for you. So, I'm a fan of trying to automate as much as you can, but at some point, you've got to put a little bit of work into this. Try to put that artistic hat on and just give it a spin. You might be super surprised how good you are. You just haven't seen it yet. Now, all of these models on the left, these are the Gilbert Engineering HD models. I have the Grand Illusion, the Rosa Grande, I have Star-Lord, I have King's Ransom, and I have Square Peg. Over here we have the Boscoyo props, that's the Ice Queen, these are the Mesmerizers, this is the Wreath. And then again, over here are through the GE certified props. And what I want to do is illustrate with my litmus test in model work. When I have a new model that I'm working on with Jason and Chris over there at Gilbert Engineering, or I've got Mark Myers working on wiring and creating submodel groups, or Gary or anybody else that's working on this, I like to take it on a little test run. And it's got to pass my test of the single strand effect. If it can do that, then I know it can do just about anything. And so I want to illustrate that here. And we'll just start with the Grand Illusion. And this is just a basic number of chases 2, chase size 16, cycles 2. By the way, I have made all the pixel sizes 2. Those PPD boys, they love to go really large on these pixel sizes. And while it does fill in on the screen, it's not real life as to what you're really going to see playing back. So most of mine are typically at 1, because that looks realistic as to what the pixel will really look like on your home. But for this, I put it at 2, just to kind of go in between. There we go. Back to this. Here we are. Here's my lovely single strand effect. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to arrow this down through the various model groups. And what we're trying to pay attention to here is, how is the model behaving? Is there symmetry? Is there anything out of whack? And so far, these all look good. Left, right, counterclockwise, clockwise. Here are the rings. Go to horizontal. There we go. Now we got some stuff, and it sort of looks like other effects that we can get, like this beautiful shockwave. Sort of looks like a shockwave, a little bit different. Let's go back to our overlay center as it spins. And then you can see the rest of these are the snowflake spoke groups. There's a reason so many people really love the Gilbert Engineering props, and that's because of the time put into creating the submodel groups. That's why I, as a sequencer, love working with them, because I know what they're going to do. Let's go on down. Let's go down the list. Sorry, getting all choked up. These are the snowflake field. This is the ransom group, which now I need to move this out of the way so we can see our ransom in here. And this is just going across because it's the whole model. If I bring this on down, here are the ransom circles, the outer circles, as we can see. And then here are the inner circles. Here are just the outer circles, so the circle's all inner and outer. And if I'm on the all, I would probably adjust this to a number that makes more sense so I get some evenness here on these turning. That looks much, much better. Let's take it back to 2 and go on down the list. And here we are, outline. This is an interesting one because when I created the submodel on this, there's a very specific order to where the submodel starts for each of the outlines. These are the crowns, individual crowns that create the outline. And when you look at the certified model, it does not behave like this. And so that's sort of a problem. Here's the diamonds, inner, outer. So I think you get the gist. I'm just going to kind of scoot on down this list. There's a square group. Nothing too exciting there. There we go. And then we get the stragglers. Now the stragglers are nothing more than random dots all over the place. So if I were to put an on effect, that's what they are. So they're not going to do anything super special. These are for a completely different effect. Let's get rid of that. Hopefully they're not mapping anything to the stragglers, because that's just going to be a hot mess. And then we have the Star-Lord diamonds, evens, odds, spokes, feathers, all this good stuff. And I think you can see that it's pretty similar in the way it behaves. No matter which of these I choose, if I go to middle, I'm still going to get the expected results. And look at me, I've got this on 3D fade. Let's turn that off. There we go. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Bounce from left. The plungers. Don't ask me why I called it that. I just did. They look like plungers, I guess. Star-Lord, right, Z left, star. Let's put this back on right, left. And then we get to the cross. Cool. And then we're at squared. And then we get to the arms of the square. And I should probably zoom out so we can see this better. That looks good. Good, 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 good. And then we get to the Rosa Grande. And there we go. Consistent all the way across the board. And there are just a whole bunch of these submodels. And they're wonderful. So much fun to sequence with. Takes so much time to sequence with. There we go. That's kind of cool. I would probably use something a little more like this. Take this down to a chase size of 1. Or I could take it to this to give it more of a kind of an oblong, funky looking thing. All right, let's take this back to 2. And let's scroll on down. All these look good. Let's get down here. So this is the last one in this group of submodels for the Rosa Grande. So I'm not changing anything. We're going to leave it at number chases 2, chase size 2, cycles 2, overlay center. And then we get to the Ice Queen. Now, what I did with the Ice Queen in all of these models here, because I want to be fair with this, in here, all of their submodels look like this. And this would be, that's a good way to do this. I think they got it right on this, except for this and this. I do not like this, but these are fine. If we look at the Mesmerizer and we go to the submodels, we get the spokes. Yeah, that's fair enough. But then we get to these things here. And again, I'm not a fan of this style of making the submodel groups. And then the Ice Queen. I really, really want to like this prop. I think it has tremendous potential, but I think they missed the mark on this. It needs help. It really does. See all these tips. Okay, anyway, so what I did was I took all of those submodels and put them in groups. So I created, if we look up here, you'll see Mez, Diamond Group. I just simply put them in groups because there's a couple of these, and if I put something at the group level, it's going to hit both of them. Now, keep in mind that this one on the left is a native file, and this one on the right is their certified model, but it's not native. They made this one a custom model, and I don't know why. Because they will not behave the same. And that's a problem. Consistency is important. So let's scroll down here. Here's the Ice Queen. Let me see if I can find this over here. There we go. That's okay, but maybe it's just the way it was drawn, but something looks like it's not happening right in this area here. I'm not really sure. Maybe it's just the way it was drawn. I'm not too concerned about that. This is the star outline. Again, I'd probably put some more chases on there, but you know, it's not doing much for me. We could increase the chase size to get an idea of what it's really doing, and it's sort of not pretty. I think the model really needs to be cleaned up, and there's a reason why the model looks very jagged, and I'll get into that if I don't forget. Let's go to the next one. This would be the short arms outlines. Again, something looks funky here. Something's, I don't know if it could be a pixel that's out of order, but we don't have symmetry. We got something going rogue over here, and you can't have that. Cannot have that. And then you have the stars. I don't know what's happening here. Let's see if we can do something different with it. Okay, well, that's better. Put it on vertical. That's just going to do that around and around. Go back to our overlay and sort of just, you know, I think it's just a matter of the design of the model there. The biggest culprit. Tips, again, here. Sort of a strange way of doing this because they're kind of coming in and going out. If I put this on 1, something's going on up here. I've got another rogue pixel just sort of saying, hey, look at me. Don't worry about them. They're in concert, but I'm just going to be an idiot out of place. That should be addressed. All right. And let's scroll on down here. This is an interesting model. I kind of like what they did with the checker thing. It doesn't really work with this, but if we were to put, I don't know, something like this and put vertical per model. No, let's go overlay. Horizontal. Yeah, you know, we're kind of back to doing this and putting it overlay center and calling it a day. And hey, I mean, I could work with that. I could do some stuff with that. It's just, it sort of needs help, and really it has to be on per model per preview if you just want to get the full on effect there. So I created an even and odd group. So if I were to take this and put this on the odd group and just sort of reverse it, you get this kind of stuff. Maybe put some color in there and create some contrast, and then sort of go to town with it. So probably out of all the submodel groups in the Mesmerizer, this is probably my favorite. But there's still a problem with that, and let me show that to you. And let me go over here. I'll go to the nice clean Mesmerizer, and I'll go to the submodel. And when we look at this checkers version here, we'll just look at checkers 1. You can see here that these are all symmetrical to here. And then they skip over here and they go 4, but then it goes 3, and it goes 3, and they're not in alignment. So we just lost this alignment. This thing's just going to curve around this way, and then it just goes 1, 1, 1. And then the same thing over here on the opposite side, 1, 1, 1. So it's really tough to get these to look and align if they're not going to align. And the reason for this is everything is perfectly symmetrical up until about this point here. From here on down, there are less nodes, and that can really create some issues if you're trying to use certain effects on these. As a matter of fact, if we were to look at this, we would see that the layer sizes are 96 all the way until they get to this 7th layer, then it's 72, 60, 48, so on and so on. And until we get to that funny, I can't stand pixels on the very inside, the very center. That just needs to be taken away from any vendor. It just doesn't need to be there. It's just a me thing. It's just a me thing. Don't hate. Anyway, let's go on down the list. Here, the Mez circle. And I don't know what's going on here, but I'm not liking it. That's okay. See how we have symmetry here. That's good. I like what that's doing, but this is no bueno. That's okay. The diamonds, again, we've got some weird things going on over here. It doesn't know what it wants to do. It's absolutely wrong. Mez group, that's okay. That's supposed to do that. The Mez group, by the way, is supposed to be above everything else. I just didn't put it there. Mez, oh, that's because I created it later. And again, I don't know what this is doing. There's sort of a hot mess in here. If I put it on the vertical, yeah, it's not very attractive. I mean, it's not terribly bad. I mean, it just, symmetry is just everything, man. It just really is. Let's put this back on 2. Scrolling down. Whoa, what did I just do? Let's put you back on. Overlay center, and I probably changed that to 1. Nope, we're good. Mez outer rings. Number of chases 1. See this right here? A little weird anomaly in here. No, a boy, no. Unless it's just playing with my eyes. Let's slow it down. No, it's just playing with my eyes. I think that's fine. Yeah, kind of weird. Let's put you back at 2. All right, let's continue our path, because we haven't seen the crazy stuff yet. This is a spoke group. No. That's no good. No, we don't want that. Well, look at what happens when I put it on horizontal per model per preview. That works. That goes around and around and around the way it's supposed to. There we go. Want 8? There you go. They're all doing the same thing. But yeah, put this on overlay center, and it's sort of just like, hey, look, we're having a party. Now that one's okay. Oh, no, it's not. Like, what is going on over here? It's got some seriously rogue pixels just, doing their own thing. Hey, man, it's our party. All right, let's continue on. Mez star, that's fine. Again, this is the wedge group. So the wedge group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a bunch of those, and so let's just put this on the wedge group. What are we looking at here? Let's go to overlay center. Woo, yeah, boy, we better put some mustard on that one. Yeah, see, I don't know what, see, this, yeah, that's no good. That's not pretty. Not pretty. Let's go back over here. And again, you can see this thing is, something is definitely off. And I'm going to blame that because they're not consistent. Now, it's interesting because Keith just did an enhancement, or maybe it was a fix, I'm not sure, but on making the default render style look better with rings in multiple layers that have different numbers of nodes. Problem is, I just don't use default on something like this. I mean, that's great. Okay, if that fixed something here, well, this is what someone new does when they're learning the sequence. A window washer. But no bueno. Can't do that. All right. And if any of you out there actually wash windows for a living, I apologize. This is the, okay, so now we've just gotten into the certified model. So I need to back this out a little bit and show you what's going on here. It's an interesting concept. There's the model preview. Let me just thicken this up a little bit. There we go. I'm just out too far. What this is doing is this is saying, hey, in the PPD wreath center rings, do something with a bunch of things. But where's King's Ransom? How come no love for that? So go, oh, wait a minute, maybe we got something here. We got a whole bunch of stuff going on now. Okay, let's go to the next one. Outer diamonds. Oh, now we have the ransom doing something. And then we have petals and yeah, okay. And let's go to the spiral alls. Okay. Now we've managed to make this prop look like a hot mess. So the question is, if you use these for a PPD sequence and you're getting stuff to move on a Gilbert Engineering prop, is it good enough? I mean, if the answer is yes, then man, by all means, go for it. But I have a feeling it's not going to be doing exactly what it should, and it may not look super pretty. You're going to end up spending a bunch of time trying to fix it. Because if we look at these submodel groups here that they have created, and I'm now have to go hunt for these. Here we go. Basically, they're saying for the wreath outer diamonds, use the outer diamonds of the wreath, use the outer triangles of the Grand Illusion, use all the circle inner and outers for the ransom, and then also use the outer balls of the GE Rosa Grande. And also throw in the Boscoyo Mesmerizer triangle rings outer. Dude, you might as well just put on a blindfold and throw stuff in the air and see what happens. I'm still trying to wrap my head around, how is this helping? If the goal is just to get something moving in your show, then sure, you'll get some movement. But wouldn't it be easier just to map like for like things? If one vendor has arms and the other vendor has arms, and both of the models used from each have arms or legs, spinners, spokes, chevrons, whatevers, it's in a group, you're mapping group to group. But the problem is, if you don't know how to make a group work correctly, then all bets are off anyway. Now, this is just my opinion. It's just my opinion, and maybe everything is fine as is. But as a sequencer, gosh, man, I take this stuff so personally. It's just, I know it can be better. And maybe good enough is just good enough. Anyway, I've gone on a rant far too long. If you made it this far, God bless you. and I'm sorry, not sorry. Let me know your thoughts. If you have a bunch of PPD sequences and you've been using this and it works, I want to know. I want to see the results. I want you to share your sequences in one of the groups and say, hey, Ron, you crazy. This stuff looks dope, dude. Look at this. I just want to see it. And I will totally say, you know what? I was freaking wrong. That looks cool. and then I'm just gonna go make a whole bunch of certified models. Not likely. Gotta go. See ya.